Hello everyone. So today we are going to learn about OS disk. So I have already created resource group. I have named it test RG. I have created it in Central India, and I have already a VM running. VM name is VM1, and I have deployed it in Central India region. So I have taken RDP of the VM, and I wanted to show you that when you create a Windows virtual machine, you get by default 127 GB OS disk size. So can the question is, can we increase it, or are we allowed to decrease it? So if it comes to increasing the OS disk, yes, you can increase the OS disk, but if you want to reduce the OS disk, that is not allowed. So here I have some notes. Let me make you go through that quickly. Few things to understand when there are disk types: premium SSD, standard SSD, and standard SSD. What is LRS? LRS stands for locally redundant storage. Azure keeps 3 copies of replica of the disk data. All copies are stored in the same data center, which protects data from hardware failure or like server failure, you can say. Disk type you get under LRS: premium SSD, standard SSD, and standard SSD. Hope you know the difference between what is premium SSD and standard SSD. Not there is basically one thing, like SSD, premium SSD, you get high performance, low latency, and when you call a standard SSD, it is a balanced performance, low cost. Basically, it is recommended for web servers or small enterprise apps when you talk about standard SSD. And when you talk about premium SSD, it is meant for database high traffic applications, and it is little bit costly compared to standard SSD. Plus standard SSD, when you say, I hope you know about what is different between SSD and SSD, right? So SSD is recommended for the production environment, and SSD is recommended for backup and non-critical data because it is slow, and it is slowly becoming a legacy one. So, and it is also going to be depreciated after few years, I believe in 2028 something. So yeah. And what is ZRS? When you say ZRS, it is zone redundant storage. Data is replicated across 3 different availability zones in the same region. It protects from data center or zone failure. Under ZRS, you get premium SSD and standard SSD. Again, you get high performance, low latency in premium SSD, and in premium SSD, and in standard SSD you get balance and cost performance. Like you get balance, not too high, not too low latency, but a balanced one, and a managed cost as well. Then here is the OS disk types. Under OS disk type, you can go through the things I have already mentioned. You can read it. You get a temporary disk. In some VM you get temporary disk, in some VM you don't get temporary disk. Like here you will see a temporary disk, but currently it is not showing in my. So don't never save data inside this, because this is a temporary and you can lose your data. What is IOPS? IOPS stands for input output operation per second. How many read, write, request or storage system can handle every second? That is for IOPS. A scenario example I have mentioned: online shopping website, thousands of users checking product, adding to cart, placing order. So here IOPS become important. The higher IOPS, the higher read and write request or like a disk can handle. So it will not go, like it will not lag, it will provide less latency and quick resolution of the data. So this is for IOPS is important. What is throughput? Throughput, how much total data can be transferred per second. So here also I have used a scenario example. Let's take in Netflix streaming. User watches 4K movie, a large continuous data transfer is required. So here throughput becomes important, and you can read this PDF in detail so you'll get an idea. let's move into practical. So once you are on this OS VM virtual machine, open it and first take the RDP, as I have already taken the RDP, and here you can see by default 127 GB OS disk is what we got. So here what we will do, we will create a text file and we will put some data inside this before we update it. Test 1, let's give it test 1. And what we will do, we have to close it, because if you want to increase the OS disk size, you have to make the VM under deallocated mode. So you have better you stop it from here. It will go on the deallocated mode, and meanwhile it is processing. Can you search here disk, and once you see the disk option here, click on this disk. Here you will see your OS disk, premium SSD, and max IOPS 500 MB, because we have taken very less core of CPU and memory. So 500 IOPS max throughput is 100. So this is what I was talking. OS this default size you get 127 GB for Windows, and for Linux you get 30 GB. So click on this OS disk. Our virtual machine is successfully stopped. Make sure it is stopped, otherwise you won't be able to increase the OS disk size. It always requires a downtime when you have to increase the OS disk size. And always remember that you can only increase the OS disk size. You can never decrease the OS disk size. Let's suppose our current OS disk size is 128 GB. Can we make it 64 GB? I have selected it. What options I am getting? Reducing disk size is not supported in Azure to prevent data loss. Okay. And here also you can one more thing I wanted to say. Here if you see storage type, under storage type, local redundant storage, data replicated within a single data center, 3 copies of the data. So here you see premium SSD, standard SSD, and standard HDD. So can we change the type of disk? Yes, we can change it. If our current is premium SSD, so we can make it standard SSD, HDD, right? So currently we will, let's select here, make it standard SSD and make it 256 GB. It is not required, it is optional. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. So I have changed the disk type as a standard SSD and selected 256 GB and click save. So our disk is successfully updated. You can see the notification. Now what we will do, we will go back to the virtual machine and take the RDP of this VM. First we have to start it. Oh, sorry, I think. Okay, so if we have started it, I believe, yeah, click this and then search for RDP. Is it some browser issue or what? I think, let me refresh it. Sometime it happens, so you just refresh the browser and you will get the updated status. Yeah, so it was in stop deallocated mode, but I thought it was not reflecting here, so I just refreshed the browser and I came to know that it was not started. So now we have to start it. Click on start. So once our virtual machine is started, we can check it. So our virtual machine is started. Let me take the RDP. Two things we have to check in this. First, the data which we have created, text file, text1, and whether the OSD size got increased or not. So give it a second. It is updating because we have shifted it from the premium disk, premium SSD to standard SSD. So this is also making it little bit slow. And this VM size, we are using 2-core CPU and 8 GB RAM. Yes, so give it 1-2 minutes, I believe it will take. Still now I got the access of the RDP, but still it is not showing me the option to open File Explorer so I can check. Yes, now I got the option. Let me search for the File Explorer. First we will check whether the txt file is there or not. Open File Explorer. Click on this PC, C drive, text file. Text one is there, the file is there, but what we see here is still 126 GB, but we have increased. So yes, after increasing you have to perform some extra steps. So whether you can search computer management in your system, in your server, or you can just open this server manager, click on tools and click on computer management. And this will open computer management. Once the computer management is open, click on disk management. And once you click on disk management, you will see here 129 GB unallocated space. So right click on this Windows C and click on extend value. Click on next, finish. And once this is done, just go back to the File Explorer. Click on this PC and you will see now it is 255 GB. And our text file is also there. So that's all for this lecture. Thank you so much for your time. See you in the next lecture.